Let's now turn to Ambassador Shetty, if you can unmute and make sure you are available. Ambassador Balkrishna Shetty is a member of the core group on GDKP India, also appointed by NITI. He served in the Indian Statistical Service from 1973 to 76, and in the India Foreign Service from 76 to 2010, with last appointment as Ambassador of India to Sweden and Latvia. During 2013 to 15, he was guest faculty in the Department of Mathematics at the Indian Institute of Information Technology in Delhi, teaching number theory. He's the author of the book, What is Mathematics?, which I wondered about in much of my time in school. So Ambassador Shetty, if you will unmute and take stage.
Thank you very much, Dr. Jeffrey Cole, Professor Sulpaso, all the distinguished participants. I'm very happy to have been invited because I think this is a subject which is of great importance. Importance not just in the sense of an intellectual adventure, but something which will impact humanity and the way it lives and consumes. Umberto has already spoken about what GDKP is really about, what it measures. And he also, of course, said why GDP is not adequate. In fact, why is GDP important at all? It is important not because it just measures the total volume of value of goods and services during a particular period for a particular nation. It is what we can deduce from that. It tells us something about what's being produced in the country, what resources are being used, and whether those meet the goals of the country concerned. Obviously, in the last several years, and maybe decades, the external situation, global situation has changed. And these have made GDP more and more irrelevant. I use the word irrelevant because what has happened is, first and foremost, the Club of Rome told us what it means to consume. The planet Earth is a finite, and therefore the resources are limited. Imagine every family in the world living like a family in the US. What would happen? The amount of consumption, there would not be enough for the next generation. Number two, the pandemic has told us that you don't have to be present everywhere. You can do things virtually. We're even talking of avatars. We can attend a meeting without being there. We send our avatar away. Imagine how much fuel would be saved. Number three, I think this is very important. The pollution that is being caused by our consumption. All these are the result of a certain approach to life, and that is of production and heavy consumption to satisfy a certain ideas. The thing is, you can get those same things in a different way, and that is where GDKP comes in. Why? First and foremost, GDKP talks about knowledge. Knowledge is like the proverbial cake. You can have it and eat it too. If I have some knowledge, I share it with you, it remains. So it can be distributed to everybody without causing a burden, without having any limitations that Club of Rome talked about. Number two, knowledge, what Umberto talks about is not the knowledge of Pythagorean theorem or some abstract theorem in mathematics or in rocket science or something. It's the knowledge that people want, the common people want. This is not the knowledge restricted to universities, think tanks, advanced institutions. It is knowledge created by the people, for the people, and knowledge of the people. And therefore, it is really mass knowledge. And therefore, and there is no limitations of space, of time. Of space, because knowledge can be transmitted immediately. And when you do that, you don't emit any polluting gases. And lastly, knowledge is something which makes every human being a better person, hopefully. But generally, the idea is you become much more than an animal from whom we descended. And therefore, it is this knowledge which is today dominating. When we talk of knowledge economy, which the World Bank has done, is nothing great. World Bank has spoken about it, which is that you have these new technologies which are and new products which are very knowledge intensive. But I think that is not what Umberto's main idea is. The idea is that knowledge is created by common people's economic interaction and which is grasped by this GDKP. And more the knowledge circulates, faster the knowledge is consumed, faster is knowledge regenerated because of the knowledge that is consumed. This is a win-win for the world and for the people. GDKP, therefore, is something, as Ambassador Fabian said, its time has come because we have reached the borders of limit of consumption. We've understood the impact of our consumption on the global climate. We have understood the impact of the barrier that we have because of misunderstanding. It is knowledge which can help create changes in understanding. And therefore, the knowledge which is being talked about is not theoretical knowledge. It's a knowledge which comes out of people's interaction, whether it's Facebook, whether it is on WhatsApp that I send a message, whether it's an email or something I buy, something I sell, something I advise. It is these type of knowledge which are increasingly dominating, and the purpose, and therefore the idea is how to capture this in a way which tells us the structure of the knowledge economy, how is it distributed, how can it be absorbed faster, and how can it be used to regenerate new knowledge. And I think this is where I have felt very impressed with Umberto's GDKP, and I see it as not something which is supplementing or replacing GDP. No, it is unique and stands by itself and is required today. Let me also tell you that I think Umberto was smart in selecting India. I'm not saying it because I'm an Indian, but because, as I said, there is a mass factor. The US, yes, US is about 332 million population. I think the latest, I think yesterday's population was that much. India is about 1.38 billion. It's a massive market. Number two, like US and other Western countries, India is an open society, so this information flows quickly, uninterrupted. Unlike some other economy which may be bigger in mass, but restricted in terms of information flow. And I think it is in India that you will see, as I think Dr. Paul has already mentioned, Government of India is already onto the job. And I think it is here that we will see how we go about it. Let me also tell you that it's not necessary that we find the best model. After all of us who have done mathematics know that Leonard Euler proved various things in function without knowing what a function really is. His idea was that of a formula. So therefore, let us not worry that Umberto has found out the best formula or the best representation or the best model for representing knowledge. What is important and necessary is that we start so that we learn as we move forward and we come to a destination which I think will impact everyone on this planet. Let me end here because I think I have exceeded my time limit, but I would like to thank once again all of you for your patience. I hope I have made sense, but I can always tell you that I have been very excited about this project and Umberto knows it. I think it deserves to be implemented. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Ambassador Shetty. Your excitement shows. You're looking pretty good for 1 o'clock in the morning. Thank you again. So